provided that the adequate water restrictions are maintained. The city says that the levels of dams supplying water to Cape Town have been rising consistently over the past 6 weeks. For more on that story, we're now joined on the line by our reporter Mariska Botha. Mariska, thanks very much for joining us. I suppose for Cape Townians this is good news, but they're not out of the woods yet. Hello Mariska, can you hear me? Hello, Mariska? All right, okay. We're hoping to speak to Mariska Botha, but I suppose in essence the story is that Hello, Mariska? All right, okay, she's gone. We're going to try and call her back, but in essence the story is that there will be no, the water restriction 6B remain in place. There will be no day zero until in 2019. But the water restrictions must stay in place because the dam levels must go to at least 85% before the restrictions go away. And I believe at this stage that the dam levels are only at 43%. So there's still quite a gap between what's safe and what isn't. Let's try and get Mariska once again. Hello, Mariska, can you hear me?
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Right, I was just saying that, you know, great news for Cape Townians about day zero being pushed out, but they're not quite out of the woods yet.
Definitely not out of the woods. As you were saying there, our dam levels are currently sitting at 43%, and that is very, very good if you compare it to last year. Towards the end of winter, dam levels were only sitting at 38%, and we're only halfway through our rain season right now. But the city is saying nothing should be taken for granted at all. People still need to adhere to saving water, sticking to that 50 litres per person per day for now, and definitely not out of the woods. They were also discussing their future plans going forward, saying that there's a new water program that they're looking at, and it will include desalination, groundwater extraction, and of course the reuse of water to make sure that there's a diversification in the water mix to be able to ensure that there's consistent supply. But definitely, Cape Townians are happy. The Cape is green. Cape Town is green as it used to be 4 or 5 years ago. Things are looking good, and people are holding thumbs that more rain will come. And in the meantime, Cape Townians that we spoke to today said they will keep up their saving efforts.
All right, so the Cape Townians are really going to have to remain compliant with these restrictions. And I just wonder, the messaging from the city, what have they been saying to residents? I suppose more of the same.
Actually, today they said that one of the reasons why they were successful in halving water consumption in 2 years' time. In 2016, it was at around 1.2 billion litres per day, and now Cape Townians are using around 520 million litres per day. That's actually a fantastic feat. If you consider a city like Melbourne, who also had to halve their water consumption, Melbourne in Australia, it took them 12 years to get that right. So Cape Townians achieved that in 2 years. And the city has been saying that they are continuously communicating with residents. Everywhere you go, there's posters and placards up. There's social media groups. The city's website is accessible. So they're continuing their message to tell people, continue what you're doing, thank you for what you're doing, but please keep those efforts up. Don't let the ball drop now.
Mariska, any word from the Weather Service about the outlook for rains in the coming weeks?
We've heard in the past few weeks the Weather Service is telling us there's consistent cold fronts coming through. It's a bit difficult to make long-term predictions, seeing that it seems like weather systems are changing and climate change is a reality. But we know for a fact that a cold front is moving in tonight. We're expecting more rain tonight and tomorrow, and that's kind of been the trend over the past month or so. We have a few days of mild sunshine and then a good strong cold front coming through, giving good rain. And the important thing is, while it doesn't necessarily rain in the city bowl, if it rains out in the catchment areas, we're talking about around 50 kilometers outside of Cape Town. You have the Theewaterskloof Dam and the Steendracht Dam. If it rains in those catchment areas, that's very, very good news. And we have certainly been seeing that over the past month or so. Good, strong cold fronts coming in and decent rainfall across the province.
All right, Mariska Botha, we're going to leave it there. Thanks very much indeed. That was Mariska telling us about the situation in Cape Town, where the day zero is not going to happen in 2019 based on current dam levels, but they're not out of the woods yet because the dam levels are only sitting at about 43.7%, and they need to get to at least 85% before restrictions are lifted fully, but it's looking pretty good.